U.S. President Barack Obama is in the middle of his three-day trip to the Arctic, becoming the first sitting U.S. president to visit. Already, he's met with leaders from the indigenous population. His focus is on climate change as he sees firsthand how the environment in the Arctic is changing as a result of a warming world. He also addressed a meeting of nearly 24 delegations in the U.S. state of Alaska. CCTV's Callebs is there.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry issued a challenge to all nations assembled for the Arctic discussions.
There is no question that the stakes could frankly not be much higher. And that's why I'm so grateful for such a display of interest by so many countries coming here today to be part of this discussion.
After a day of meeting behind closed doors, the U.S.-led group issued a statement on climate change, saying, "We reaffirm our commitment to take urgent action to slow the pace of warming in the Arctic, focusing on actions that impact the global atmosphere as well as the Arctic itself." All nations represented here agreed on the joint statement, except China and India. Sources say the meeting in Anchorage came together quickly, and China and India may not have had time to approve the pact.
Its seemingly remote location in the north might lead some to believe that what happens in the Arctic stays in the Arctic. But that is not the case.
Representatives saw a sobering short film detailing concerns if temperatures continue to rise around the world unchecked. Scientists are trying to convince people all over the world that what happens here is having a dramatic effect on harsh weather conditions globally. Indigenous people in the Arctic have seen it already. They are on the front lines in climate change.
Alaska's native peoples seek security, food security, economic security, cultural security, energy security. A changing world and climate impacts all of these.
The gathering seemingly has all the trappings of a well-choreographed formal meeting. All 8 members of the Arctic Council are here, those nations that have land within the Arctic Circle. But the U.S. also invited so-called Arctic observer nations, such as China, who have tremendous interest in the Arctic.
And to all the foreign dignitaries who are here, I want to be very clear. We are eager to work with your nations on the unique opportunities that the Arctic presents and the unique challenges that it faces. We are not going to, any of us, be able to solve these challenges by ourselves. We can only solve them together.
The Arctic is changing rapidly, warming twice as fast as the rest of the world. Sea ice is melting, winters are shorter, summers are starting earlier. Erosion is devastating remote coastal communities and threatening the indigenous way of life that has thrived for thousands of years. U.S. officials say the problems are real. They are here now and need immediate attention.
The bottom line is that climate change is not a distant threat for our children and their children to worry about. It is now. It is happening now.
Barack Obama is getting a lot of attention internationally, being the first sitting U.S. president to visit the Arctic. But many panel members say climate change is a global problem, and it's going to take a global effort to reverse the effects. Callebs, CCTV in Anchorage, Alaska.